Yes.
Okay.
Where did Eric go?
Okay.
And then he just popped off. Hey, y'all.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
Yes,
hey,
we are
hey.
live all over the places. Woo!
I know.
Took us
Am
a minute to get
I?
some technology together, but we are here. Hey, Instagram, what is up, DC Magic? All right, they were waiting over on Instagram.
Yes, they was. Yes,
We're
they was.
waiting.
Welcome, welcome, y'all. I'm still trying to figure mine out on my Instagram.
So click go live when you're ready, and you should see your Instagram pop up too. Look, we are figuring out how to reach all of you
Yes,
at
you
the same
are.
time, so you can all get our attention. Yes,
Yeah.
what's going on? All right, we got a bunch of folks over on Instagram. Hey, y'all. Hey.
Yes, come on in. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey. Hey, hey,
All right, well,
hey.
welcome. We are Black Tantra
Mhm.
Group. If you do not know who we are, y'all introduce yourselves. I feel like I did the intros last time.
Someone else can go because, I'm always talking.
I'm always talking. Ricardo, go ahead, because we're always talking.
uh, I'm here. Sorry, I was striving to connect my Instagram, but it's a a few extra steps. Um, hey y'all, I'm Ricardo Parker, Rick the Healer on Instagram, Ricardo Parker on Facebook. I am one of the co-founders of the Black Tantra Group, and I in my professional side of things, work with women to release trauma through energy work and also guide attendees to our various workshops and retreats through a variety of different energy um, and anatomy related processes, and I'm looking forward to engaging you all in a very spirited conversation this evening.
Everett, are you able to talk? Are you in a good area? He was in a funky area. All right, we'll come back to Everett. All right, I'll go next. Oh, so I think that's Raziki. You may have to mute. Yeah. Hey, y'all. My name is Debbie Maisha, and I am the Central Energy Alchemist. I am a master life coach and sacred sexuality teacher. And my work revolves around reconnecting Black women to their freedom, their sovereignty, and their power through sensuality and pleasure. And I am one of the founders of Black Tantra Group. We are so excited to have you with us for this conversation this evening. Raziki or Everett?
So, peace and love, everyone. I am Riziki Zafira. I am also one of the co founders of Black Tantra Group and founder of Akura Temple, Akura Tantra, an Afro Asiatic Indigenous Nubian lineage based Tantra system. I specialize in helping both men and women break through blockages to become their best selves. My work is focused in transmuting trauma and aligning with your life path and purpose, as well as actualizing your version of wealth. And of course, all this juicy sexual creative energy. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. Everett, are you available?
Hey, hey, hey. Hi, I'm Everett Lake. My IG is Timeless Experience or Timeless EXP. I am a Tantra practitioner. I am the newest member of the Black Tantra group. I specialize in different modalities from astrology, Tantra, Reiki. I really help remove
Oh, he's in a
Oh
funky
man, he
area,
went
but
out.
he helps align you and remove the
you
gunk that
want to
does not
be.
serve you.
Damn nabbit.
All right, we'll come back. We'll come back to you, Everett. We'll come back to you. You talking? You speaking? All right, we'll come back to you. All right, so y'all, tonight so basically we'll be going live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. and this is an opportunity for you to ask us questions. We're gonna have a topic that we'll discuss. just a little smidge of our teaching, but not too much. And we want you all to know who we are, not just because we're amazing, because we are. We have decades of experience between the four of us, but also because we have a retreat coming up in April. And it's important that now that we've gotten past the gunk of 2023, like that shit is done. Like we are stepping into a new doorway,
Mhm.
of
Let's talk about it.
yeah, of wealth and pleasure and prosperity. Like we're still gonna heal, but we've done enough crying in the corner, and now it's time for us to say, okay, now how do I want to live? And so
That whole part.
right, this retreat coming up April 25th through the 28th is okay. So how do you want to live? How do you want your sex
Mhm.
life to be? How do you want your wealth to be? And with that,
Yeah, so it kind of piggybacking off of what Everett said. I mean, aside from Tantra, I'm also very heavily into astrology and the cosmos and just the cycles of nature. And speaking of fear, first off, Happy New Year to everyone who celebrates, New Year during this time. But, we're all about portals and riding the wave of the cosmic orgasm. So this year, y'all, a 8-year dragon energy. This is all about health, wealth, prosperity, luck, strength, and really digging deeper into your inner wisdom and not forgetting who the F you are, right? So, one of the things that we love talking about is like how to become your best self. And for the past year, and I think I was telling Maisha about this or somebody, whatever, but the past year, my clients have been really focused on fear, but not just, their sexual self, but how can I break through these blockages to be successful at this idea or even have the bravery and the courage to execute the ideas and the creative energy that, I've been holding on to for so long. So tonight, y'all, we discussing fear and how that shows up in all aspects of your life, not just sex, but your money, your family, your friends, your audacity to try new things and succeed to new levels in life.
I love that. And so, listen, y'all know, as women, we will talk. So if you hear me and Raziki talk a lot, it's just because that's how we do. And then a lot of times the dudes are quiet, so we have to remind Everett and Ricardo to jump in. Like they got to jump in, okay? Because we'll be having the conversation.
Right.
Raziki, I did want to ask you, what have you found has been like a couple of the biggest fears from?
Okay, so yeah, okay. So first, if I could backtrack a little bit. So last year, December in 2022, no, yeah, 2020, that wasn't last year, whatever. But I was like, you know what? I want to focus my Tantra practice on focusing on wealth and success, which caused me to take this really immersive deep dive to be around people in the energy and the minds of all this, right? And so here's what I find. So, like people who have all this grandiose energy and ideas and things they want to execute, but haven't reached their version of like economic success, there is a fear of success. There is a lot of things associated with success, like, oh, I don't want to become an a-hole. That was one of mine. Because, looking at examples of people who we considered a version of wealthy just had these stinking ass attitudes, right? So that was one thing. Fear of success, fear of the accountability and the responsibility that comes with it. Also, this was something that was unique too. Certain people are holding off their success because they're in fear of attracting people who only want them for what they have and not who they really are. So in their mind, it's like, I want to really attract these solid people first and then move to my success. And it's like, oh my God, but you're holding yourself back. Okay, now on the other hand, because okay, so part of my journey in immersively delving into this wealth and economic and abundance is, you all know I've been helping people with infinite banking policies and setting up trust. And so the people who are like six figures and have all these other versions of wealth, of economic success, their fear is, their status, what people view of them. Do I continue going after my goals, or do I sacrifice my family because I really can't spend a lot of time with them anyway because I'm going after this, success? Health, oh my gosh, you know, all this economic wealth, man, but the health, the mental, the emotional, crazy. It's just like, and my whole thing is like, how can we integrate this? Because, one thing in our community is, we want to be spiritual, but we don't want to look like we're not spiritual because we're wealthy, that whole crazy thing. And for me, I've been having a lot of fun integrating my version of wealth and health, and it's been fun. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. Oh, go ahead, Ricardo.
My chiming in on that, I was going to kind of talk about my own experience with fear and how fear showed up for me in terms of just moving through life. And like my persona, or as it has been evolving, has related to environments based on I need to know everything before I move. Like I wanted having all the ducks in a row and then moving. And so when something new came up and it was challenging, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Right. So as opposed to where I am cultivating myself to be now, it's like, oh, this is a challenge. I don't know this. So that means at the end of this experience, at the end of stepping into this new arena, I'm going to expand my capabilities in terms of mental, emotional, physical, financial, etc. And once I started taking that approach, things just started to flow a lot easier. And I was just like, wow, this is incredible. Just from the perspective of shifting my mindset when it comes to approaching something that gave me pause, or something that I may not immediately have had the skill set or the knowledge to take on, but because I took it on and immersed myself in the experience, then at the end of it, I was like, I did that, through the sweat and perspiration and so forth. So what, in us posing the question as far as, how does fear impact our financial or in our financial health, intimate relationships, etc. It's I'm striving now to see it all as opportunities, not as a block.
So. It's really funny that you said that, because my daughter just said the same thing today. She literally just said that she's learning to see fear as an opportunity to be curious and to dig in. And I was like, oh, okay. Yes, I'm learning, from that. And I like that we're talking about money, because and we'll explain why we're talking about money too, because I know a lot of you think that sacred sexuality is just about sex, but it's really about how engaging in sacred sexuality can affect all of the areas of your life, including your wealth. And Patrona says, that's mine, Riziki, when you were talking about the fear of success. That
was mine.
Yeah. And mine was, and I realized this recently, that when it came to monetary success, my fear was that once I got there, wherever there was, I would die. That was the literal. That was like there was nothing else for me to do, and so if I kept kind of, because I had this idea in my mind. Well, once my soul finishes all the things it needs to do, as though I know all of that, then I'm gonna die. And so if I stay close but far enough away, I'll still have something to work for. So I'll still have a reason to have to live. And I really had to realize that had more to do for me, from my point of view, that had more to do with epigenetics and the fears that Black folks have had of having wealth, because you could die. And then also combined with that, this pride that we have for working our fingers to the bone, this pride that we have for working all of the hours, and our worth is tied up in how much we can carry and work and that. So when I realized that it was those two things together, I was like, no, I got plenty to live for. In fact, getting the monetary success is just the beginning of the next level of whatever else I'm about to do.
And you know,
like,
I mean, because at the end of the day, it's another tool.
right.
It's a tool, you know, and this is what I was talking to my friend girls about. Like, you know, at one point it was cowrie shells. At one point it was freaking oba nuts or whatever them things was called.
Gold,
You know,
silver.
gold, silver, you know, whatever the means of exchange is. And you know, and yes, I did that. You know, I'm super spiritual thing, right? Because it's like, you know, sometimes we do become so super spiritual that we think that things aren't a part of God anyway. Like they're all tools, man. You know what I mean? Like everything here came from source, no matter if you deem it good or bad, right? So the thing is who we are as beings, how do we choose to use it? It's just like this combo. In a certain dosage, it could be deadly, but in the
Yes.
right dosage, it's medicine. You know what I mean? And so it's just been you know, it's been such an interesting journey for me. And I can say like I understand why unfortunately like secret societies had to be formed, you know, because not everyone will get it. And sometimes trying to explain things so much, you know, especially into soil that doesn't have the nutrients to really grow with the seeds that you're planting into it, right? And this is what I'm learning from people in positions way above I ever thought I could be, you know, and I'm just like, wow. And so me looking back to me even saying, oh my gosh, these people are all these means are a-holes. Some of them really weren't. It was just I'm tired of trying to save people. I'm tired of trying to explain this to you. I'm tired of trying to bring people up when they're fighting harder than I'm willing. I mean that I'm fighting harder for them than they're willing for themselves, you know? So it's been an interesting thing and it's heartbreaking at the same time, if I could be quite
Yes.
honest. You know what I mean? It's heartbreaking. But
Pyramid
one of my
gets narrower as you go up.
and one of the things that was my biggest lesson was for the past year is really letting go of what I see in people and the potential they have and holding on to that and then getting pissed like, oh my God, you don't see, I'll be like, child. Now I'm like, okay, well, hey, I'll be here when you're ready, if I'm still available. You know, and it's still all love. And it's still all love.
Taurus King on Instagram said that fear of the success and the death is what we've been indoctrinated with. And
Yeah.
Patrona is saying, for me, it's how your world literally changes when you have money and success. I definitely needed to be grounded within so I don't shift with perceptions and projections of me versus who I am, because it's truly a trip. Yeah.
No. Yo, I was gonna say too, I was reviewing a lesson I was uploading in the class, right? Talking about sacred sexualities and the chakra. And it's so crazy because today the what I uploaded was the root, right? The root chakra and fear. But not just on the spiritual level, right? But actually what it does to the body. So like the root, you got to think about what does it stand for, right? On spiritual terms, what do we know the root chakra to stand for? I belong, I feel grounded, I feel safe, right? And so the root chakra, most people think it's tied to the genitals, but it's really the adrenal glands. And I'm realizing like that energy of fear attacks them adrenal glands, right? And then on top of that, especially for women, you producing mad testosterone, yo. You have to realize what that does to you, sweet thing. You know what I mean? Now, for men, of course, you know you want to build your testosterone. However, if the chemicals that's happening, and y'all know I got to get all scientific. If the chemicals that's happening, if the testosterone that's being boosted is like from this fear of something great, you know that affects you as well in a way, and it affects what we call masculinity or how you show up in your masculine archetypes or your masculine energies. And it was just a beautiful reflection today. So like for me as a woman, and you know, Ricardo, Everett, y'all can talk as men as well. But for me as a woman, I realize fear is another thing that makes me masculine. Not even just on a spiritual tip, just by the chemicals that are releasing by the energy and motion that's happening in my body.
You
So
better
I
come.
was like, let me stop. Fear
You, I want to get up and run like it was church. Because let me say this, and then I'll hand it off to the men. Because this is why y'all and somebody said Shakita says this makes sense. Oh, this is why y'all, when y'all are listening to these foolish podcasts and these clips and all of this stuff that has women afraid, like women living in fear of not being enough, not being this, not being that. The man's gonna cheat. He's gonna do all this. He's gonna do all that. I gotta keep my guard up. I gotta stay like this, right? I gotta walk through the world like, you know, like the danger is afoot. And part of the reflection of that, and some of these dudes out here don't know either, because they're living in fear too, right? So their masculinity is a little, you know, but what they see in the reflection of us is what Riziki was just talking about. They see that reflection of, they don't know that they're looking at fear. Their brain says, y'all women seem too masculine. But that's not what it is. It's that we're walking around afraid.
Mm-hmm.
afraid
of being hurt, afraid of being taken advantage of, afraid of being abused, we're walking around with a lot of fear. And that's what it projects and looks like to them. Oh, you done.
Right. I mean, it's on the cellular level, like what Riziki was talking about, the whole aspect of fear and its impact on the body. It's from a biological standpoint, it is a necessary aspect of survival, right? All animals have the ability that built in, that something is awry, I need to get out of here, but it's supposed to be short-lived, right? Whether it be socially or economically, when you exist in that space for too long, it breaks down the immune system, and one on a physical level. Energetically, it diminishes your I feel that it diminishes your auric field, and makes you susceptible, right? Being in that space, walking and existing in that space for too long, I feel that it changes how you perceive things on a mental level. I'm chiming in and agreeing with both of what you just laid out, as far as, you know, the aspect of fear and how it shifts our bodies on an energetic, physical and mental, and potentially spiritual level as well. The aspects of I'm listening to what Riziki was saying in terms of the masculine energy, in terms of being in a state of fear, perpetual fear. It had me kind of thinking. I had not thought about that in that respect. So that to me is intriguing. I'm kind of processing that information, that level, in terms of how I've seen it in the world around us.
And I could just say, just from the men I've worked with, okay, so it's like the adrenals and the gonads, and I say this because literally scientifically the root and the sacral is connected by the ganglia of nerves, right? So like the adrenals, even though they both are responsible for like testosterone and estrogen, testosterone is more of the adrenals are more of the home of the testosterone, right? Whereas the gonads or the ovaries are more of the home of estrogen. But what I found in men is that it leads to a state of paralysis. Women too, but paralysis, because here's what happens. Men, you already produce like naturally more testosterone, as you should, you're a man. So then when that fear kicks in, there's an overdrive of stress and things that your adrenaline glands are doing. And so here's the thing. On one end, back in the day when we had like rites of passages, that fear was transmuted when you had to go in the woods and go kill an animal or something like that. But like we're not in those times no more. So when you feel this fear of, you know, adrenaline and not transmuting it, your body is in overdrive, and it causes stress, and it causes a state of freezing and a state of paralysis. And it's like, you know, you do nothing. So like when people hear like that overdrive of testosterone, it's like, you know, the mind automatically thinks of, oh, you become overly aggressive. But no, like in the work I'm doing, I'm seeing that it literally just leads to paralysis. You end up doing nothing, and it does affect your health. You know, a lot of us aren't realizing a lot of our men are dying faster of heart attacks and other things because of this overdrive of fear and their inability to exercise that warrior energy, hunter energy, creative energy based on whatever trauma they have or what the world says that they should do and how they should do it. That's just my observation from talking to men, but you know.
So basically, living in a society where Black men are almost forced to be more docile for fear of death, right? Because any aggression is deemed as dangerous. So they cannot display the full range of their masculinity, which means they're holding this in, which in some ways dampens their ability to actually move through the world at a higher level and kind of leaves them stagnant.
Yeah. And it's like a muscle if you don't exercise it properly. Men, you're supposed to exercise your testosterone. You're supposed to, in a healthy way, exercise your warrior energy. You are supposed to. It's needed in the world. It's what helps you accomplish your goals and go through battles and challenges, right? In a healthy way to where it doesn't affect you mentally and all this other thing. But because, like you said, Maisha, we're in a world where it's frowned upon. So you have, you know, our brothers 80% of the time not being able to exercise this energy, right? But when it's time to, it's overdrive and unhealthy, or it takes a minute to get there because it's been suppressed so long, and then we're looking like, oh my God, what the heck just happened? You know, which is why I'm gonna keep saying it. We're, you know, as women, we're doing our jobs, but men need to create more spaces for men to exercise these energies. Y'all need to be going out playing some war games and hunting and stuff, and you know, whatever it is, chopping wood, whatever it is y'all do, because it's necessary and it shows up in different areas of life. So we're talking about this one thing of fear, but again, it's your sex, it's your career, it's your money, it's your family, it's your friendship. It translates across all areas of life.
This right
Y'all
here.
gotta get me a mic, girl, because you cannot fit the child. I'm next time.
Now, this right here is it's like my mind is like it's putting pieces together. Listen, Everett, pop in anytime. I know you're in and out, sir, but it's go ahead, Everett.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So just gathering all of this lovely orgasmic energy, it dawned on me that fear is also a trigger to your fight or flight. Now, it comes down to a decision what you're going to use for this fight or flight. And when you make that decision, it can either be, as Riziki said, it's going to be either overly done or under progressed. So it's knowing like where is this coming from, is getting to the root of it, because sometimes it's ours, sometimes it's passed down from trauma, sometimes it's passed down from our ancestors, sometimes even when we're in the womb we get it from our parents. So it's understanding what's going on why. It's sitting down and saying what triggered this fear and acknowledging it, because sometimes we internalize it and we don't acknowledge what is going on, that we keep it so built up that when it happens and we in so deep, we explode to the person that's right next to us, we explode to our children, our parents, and we take it out on the wrong people instead of really digging down deep and be like, no, this isn't healthy, this isn't me, this isn't the true me. I picked this up on my life journey. So it's now comes down to, it messes up every single aspect of our life, whether it's health, money, or love. health, money, relationships. Everything gets jacked up because we're so fearful, or we also live on the FOMO, fear of missing out, when we need to stop, and you're not really missing out on anything, because when you're in your authentic self and you dealt with this fear, you can now experience the world and look at everything as an opportunity. That when this fear comes in, where does it sit? Is it in your gut? Okay, can I use this to create opportunities for me to meet the right person, go out there and experience that, or hang out with my brothers, and you know what, we're going to go play some sports, we're going to go to the shooting range, we're going to go video game, just doing something to express this energy that we have so far built up, but the communities aren't there because we're too afraid of making them, because we're so afraid of what my next brother is going to think of me when I now show up and call my shit out. We're so afraid of calling our own shit out that we misconstrued it, where there's so many people out there that needs to hear this. They need to experience this part of you so you can find the help, because we also are the medicine that we're going through.
Ashe, oh.
Extra deep tonight.
Yeah, so funny. But yeah, so I definitely will that everyone understands. Like, here's a little exercise. This is free game, y'all. Free game. It's a little review. We ain't gonna tell y'all too much because you gotta come to the retreat. So for those of you who know what chakras are, just use it as a guide, right? Think about how fear can affect each spiritual association with the chakra, right? So how would fear affect the root chakra? Your ability to feel safe, grounded, like you belong. How would fear block your creativity, your sense of pleasure, you know, all the things at the sacral? How does fear affect your solar plexus, your ability to identify with yourself, your willpower, hello, right? Your ego self. How does fear affect your heart space? How does fear affect your throat chakra? Like, just do that exercise, right? And so and what I love doing is certain practices for each of these, right? Like, y'all, let me tell you something. The body, this is why I love Tantra so much. The body is truly like a temple with all sorts of shrines and portals that you could commune to and go through and take your deep dive, because it's so much information and wisdom in each one. And like you all said, you know, how to look at fear instead of like trying to avoid it, going through it. And one of the things I love about studying Gene Keys, how they talk about the shadow self. But when you really explore the shadow self, you find the gift in the shadow. Right? You find the gift in the shadow. And I would just give a brief example. So one of my examples is half-heartedness, right? So honey, if I try to do something half-heartedness, it ain't gonna pop off. If I partner with people who are half-hearted, it will not pop off. So as I'm going through this shadow of half-heartedness, why would I join anything half-heartedly? Oh my gosh, because I don't want to commit to it. I have a fear of committing to it. So, oh my God, going through that shadow, I found the gift of commitment. So this year, commitment is the word, right? Like, committed to myself, partnerships that's committed to the mission, committed to the agreements, whatever that is, right? Ooh, girl, it's been something else. Oh, and I'll say this too. Wait, last thing. And as a woman, right, feminine being, because you know, I'm like, I hate the word discipline. Discipline is good, but I don't like how it feels to my body. So now I'm like, commitment. Commitment feels good. Devotion feels good.
Devotion is my word.
That's where I'm at with it. Okay, go ahead, Ricardo. Sorry.
What was I going to say? It's the body. I should have studied as a doctor, because I am so fascinated by everything that I'm learning in terms of the way the body communicates to us, right? You know, so before I knew about the chakra systems and then overlaying that onto the anatomy of the body, energetically, how it speaks to us, right? When you're out of alignment, when you're, the fear that you talk about, when I'm experiencing something or hear something that mentally I don't want to hear, or I wasn't ready to deal with, I would feel a sensation in a particular part of my body. And years ago, I would ignore it. Like, ooh, I don't like that feeling. I'm just going to dismiss it. Now I'm very attentive and keen to it. So what you were saying, Riziki, as far as, addressing the different chakras within the body, and what it's associated with, and how a fear experience may show up in terms of your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral, and your root chakra. For now, I'm going to leave out the third eye and the crown. But being mindful of how that feels in your body, how long does it stay around, and so certainly within the context of our retreat, we're going to share some tools and modalities with you to help dispel and move that out. But as just to follow up on what Riziki said, start from today, from this very moment, and just be attentive to where you feel a particular sensation when you're going through an experience. I'm sorry, I may forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Shaquita mentioned in the chat about her son and wanted to pick up boxing, right? And what I also picked up on at the end of it, what she said was her concern about that he may use it. I'm paraphrasing. He may use it in a particular setting, right? What
if he has
and that may be necessary to defend himself. All life form on this planet has an innate desire for self-preservation, whatever the circumstances is, right? And no laws by man can take that away, period. It's wired into our system. Go ahead, Riziki.
If I may add to Shaquita, if he has a good trainer, let me tell you something. I studied Muay Thai for 2 years. It taught me more discipline to reserve myself.
Yes.
Because if I would have gotten to a fight, it's automatic. I would have went to jail because I trained for, So when there's martial artists, people who study martial arts, people who study boxing, when the trainer is a good trainer, the whole thing is like, hey, you have a certain level of talent and skill and practice that most people don't. So you have to be more responsible with this. You have to be more, and because he has that ability to exercise whatever daily frustrations he's going through, when he's practicing, it actually gives him the room to be more reserved, a sense of confidence to say, bruh, and excuse my expression, you don't want to fuck with me, bro. Like you just don't. You know what I mean? But because of he knows, the and I'm not gonna lie, that's still the mentality that I have today. Because I know most women don't train in Muay Thai. I'm not quick to get into no dang fight, girl. I'm scared of what I may do to you, not more so what may happen to me. And this isn't like trying to be big-headed, but this is just the mentality, for that people can get when they go through certain
It's a part of the training. It's a part of responsible handling. Just think about it in terms of firearm, right? It's the responsible handling of yourself. It grants you, like you said, with a good trainer or teacher, sensei, etc. It gives you it empowers within you greater self-control, because you recognize that you have a skill, a talent that the majority of people don't. And so you walk and move with a sense of a better sense of assurance that, if you needed to defend yourself, family, property, or what have you, you have the capabilities of doing that, but you're not stepping into an argument because you have that. That's, That's something that I know in my martial arts training over the years, that, when a good instructor sees that in a student, that student is pulled to the side and, pulled out of the class so that they can reinforce the aspect.
Mhm.
You got something else going on that we need to address before these skills are imparted upon you and you go out there and create havoc.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say to that too is, hey, hopefully you and or someone can come to the retreat, because some of them aggressions may be some sexual energy that your son isn't able to exercise, or I don't know where he is or how old he is. I don't know if he's a teenager or whatever, but just also understand some of these aggressions can come up when young men are going through their sexual transition, and they may not know what's going on, or they do know what's going on but can't express it in that way. So you definitely want to get that brother into some boxing. Okay, speaking of the retreat, I want to bring up something Taurus King acts, which is, oh my gosh, something that comes up a lot, and then we're going to talk about this retreat. So Taurus King says, I want to attend the retreat as well as learn to practice Tantra and Reiki. And if this is a brother, hey, high five to you, sir, because not every brother. Okay. Anyway, no one else in my space is interested, including my significant other, which I'm assuming is a woman. So is it fear if I don't proceed? Should I do it anyway? Well,
No, go ahead.
because I'm gonna tell you something. We get this a lot, right? Like,
Yeah.
one of the partners want to come because they want to better themselves and or the relationship, and the partner doesn't. And you know what? I'm gonna be very transparent. First off, I am single by choice right now, so I am in no way claiming I'm qualified to guide or therapy or counsel anyone's long-lasting relationship. But this is what I will say: if you are not married, and if you feel like your relationship, she doesn't want to participate in growth, you have to decide if you're willing to sacrifice your growth for someone else's feelings. And the question is, so is it fear if I don't proceed? Could be fear of losing the relationship, fear of whatever argument that you're going to have, fear of XYZ. Should I do it anyway? That is, I'm not going to answer that for you. I just know what I would do.
I would do it. Do it, bro.
Do it. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, because there is women
Here's the
out
thing,
there.
right? When I started on this journey, and it wasn't within context of relationship per se, right? But I had no one in my sphere that was interested in this. I was out there on my own, and I started bringing it to folks. One of my first training retreats, I was sharing with my brother friends, and I've had these relationships that cultivated over 25 years. Shared with him being in a space where energetically people were in orgasms. This wasn't a sex party. People weren't having sex of any form. And I shared it with him. And at this point, I had known him and been friends with him for over 20 something years. And he was like, if anyone else but me had told him this, he would have been like, get out of here with that nonsense. Right. So it's coming to you as part of your journey of expansion. And from that space, I encourage you to dig deeper, so attending our retreat, definitely welcome you to it, to attend, but dig deeper, because something is being stirred within you that needs to be addressed. And as far as my perspective, as far as it, if it would be based on fear, I would agree with what Riziki said, that yes, it could be because of fear associating with your relationship. I would definitely also encourage you, as you are listening to us and have been hopefully plugged into this and other lives, or you are following us on Instagram and Facebook, to share with her what you've learned.
Mhm.
Maybe she's just not familiar, or maybe she thinks it's a sex party type engagement or an orgy, and
And
what
it is so not
is
that.
that, right? That is not what it is. So um, yes, so I definitely encourage you to
Yeah,
step in.
she can come holler at us if she, if y'all need it, But,
Exactly.
and one thing too, we so respect relationships. Some of us may be single, but we respect relationships. When couples come to our retreats, we make it clear, hey, these are the couples. What are your boundaries? Some couples don't mind their partner non-sexually or whatever that is, doing practices with other people. Some people do, and so if people come who are who are in relationships but their partner isn't there, it's not like we're like, oh, forget her at home or forget him, do this anyway, and da, da, da. It because you're coming for you. Even when couples come, they're coming for themselves in order to know how to be better selves for each other, and see how that goes along. So
And
yeah.
yeah, he says she thinks it's evil or something, which we will address that on one of
Okay.
our lives, because
Yeah.
for melanated folk, anything outside of bland Jesus is sometimes seen as something evil. So we will address that on one of our lives, and that's why we're doing these lives. We're doing them
Yeah.
so people can learn and can grow, and we want to bring this to more people. I want to say to the
Mhm.
masses, but the masses really aren't ready for reasons that Raziki said in the
They're
beginning.
not. I'm done. Child, I've been done. They're not. And you know what? Here's the thing, and I ain't trying to be funny. If she continues to think it's evil, hey, more blessings and love to her. But let me tell you something. Don't you drain your energy trying to convince somebody who don't want to be convinced. It's kind of like how plant medicine, when you're ready for it, it'll call you. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right?
Mhm.
So you could either try to, engage to understand, or engage to just prove your point. And you know her better than we do, so that is seriously a judgment that you'll have to make. And I wish you much luck. Like I said, we are here if a conversation, or you can refer her to any of our platforms. you know we'll be having more lives, because you won't see, us spit out green vomit, or you know
None of that. You might see some touchless orgasms, but I don't
you
know.
may see that. Well, no, I'm keeping that off camera too.
No, not
I'm
on the
not here
live.
for the green. Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
not on the live,
I
y'all.
don't
No,
know. Yeah.
at
Okay.
the retreat. All right, so look, y'all,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to run this evening, but just wanted to check in with Everett. I know he's on the go, because we are real people with real lives. And see, Everett, if you have anything to say or can talk, just jump on in.
Can you
I
hear me?
we see y'all's comments over there. Okay, gotcha. We see y'all's comments over there in the Instagram popping off
Okay.
this evening. So look, we have a retreat coming up in April. It is April 25th through the 28th. It will be in the DC, Virginia area, close to quite a few airports, train stations, bus stations. You can drive, like it's close enough for everybody to get there. Come on and fly in. We have had people fly into our retreats before from the Midwest. We have had folks come up from Florida for just a day workshop. It was
Hey.
a retreat,
Yeah.
day workshop. So what we have is valuable, and it is life changing. So like Alita Adams said, I don't care how you get there, just get here if you
Get
can.
here if you can.
You can go to.
I don't care how you get.
You're so welcome. Chocolate Cocaine presents. I got to.
Yes. Chocolate cocaine. I don't know, sis.
Listen,
I
I'm
gotta
intrigued.
check
I'm
your
intrigued.
page out. Yeah.
Right. There's the link there. blacktantragroup.com is where you can go. You can find out more about the retreat and what we're going to be offering there. It will be the four of us teaching. Well, Everett had to drop off, but it'll be the four of us teaching, and we'll be teaching on wealth frequency. We will be teaching on energetic foreplay. There will be qigong exercises, or qigong, depending on.
Not just any kind of qigong.
Thank you.
Tantric qigong.
Tantric. tantric to get the energy moving through those chakras that Riziki was talking about, to open them
And the
up.
meridians. Yes, honey.
Yes, get the energy flowing so it's, you're not so stagnant, and so much more. Go to the website and you can click on the button there and it'll give you all the information. You also have the opportunity to put down your deposit. Payment plans are available. Right now we have the code BTG 2024. That's not going to last forever. So we haven't decided yet when we're taking it off the table, but it will be taken off the table. So right now,
I think by the 15th, because we were supposed to cut it off on the 1st.
I know.
We
You
did,
see
but
how
see,
we
we
do
be
it.
loving y'all, man.
I
We be
know.
giving y'all chances. We was like, just been the holidays, people still
Right.
catching up,
So there you go. So you have until January 15th to receive 10% off of your deposit. After that, it's the deposit. Either way, it is worth your investment. It is worth your time. It is worth
Absolutely.
your energy. So with that, does anyone else want to say anything as we close out?
Peace, love, and prosperity, y'all. See y'all next Tuesday right here on Instagram, Black Tantra Group in the building.
LaDonna, we will be back. We are here every Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Y'all is
every
is
Tuesday. And if y'all have topics y'all want us to talk about, let us know, okay? Because we want to make sure we're talking about things that's relevant to you that you want to know. So drop us a comment, drop us an inbox, sign up on our website so you can start getting our newsletters and nice little tidbits.
Absolutely.
All righty.
That's all.
Thank you all for being here. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.